Hey Leo, welcome to your weekly reading with me, Cindy. So Leo, we are doing archetypal energies this week. We're going to see what your energy is right now in the current. We're going to see what your energy is in the future. And yeah, we're going to be looking at some stuff here. I'm just laughing because I just finished recording an Oakman reading. And they got a little bossy with me and they made me change things around a bit. So how your reading goes is a little bit different than how they've been going this week up to this point. But there's a reason for it. So there's a certain type of message that needs to start coming in, and that's how it's going to go. There's also an extended at the end of this reading. The link is at the top of the description. And the extended, we will look at the in-between from your current and your future. So let's get started. It's the archetypal energy of Leo currently Leo's archetypal energy. Oh, okay. Wow, I was looking at this when I was picking. Why did I see this card? I saw this card. It's weird the way it flew out of the bottom of the deck. You have the Mountain. This is that card for me where you sit from a higher perspective. And to me, this person, like the silhouette of all these trees at the bottom is almost like an audience. So it's the people around you, it's the collective around you, it's your co-workers, it's your family, it's your friends. Anyone that you share information with. You could, I'm also getting with this, you could yourself also have some sort of a social media network or connection, whether that's Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. But I feel like you have a higher perspective than all those that are kind of around you. But a lot of people also come to you for information, is what I get with this card. Now there's a lot more though that comes out of the book. So let's see what your future archetypal energy is. It's also a bit of an isolated energy, like, because when you sit, it's a little, you know, imagine like the emperor. Like the emperor sits up on the throne and has to make all the major decisions and kind of dictate and give advice to others. So it's lonely at the top too, is what I'm hearing for you. So your future archetypal energy, you have one that is face up. You have the Sustainer. When I look at that card, I think about somebody molding or having the potential to mold something, to mold what was nothing into something. So let's go in the book. Oh, you can't see them. There we go. So where you are right now, the Mountain. The Mountain, the ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us toward its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peak experience. Yet, it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the pursuit and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. Contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion. You are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere. When in light, grounded in the eternal, steadfast and uplifting. Research mountains. Find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be awakening in you. The summit calls. It's pretty interesting how it's talking about the emperor, like the energy of the emperor. Because this is so sort of like walking the fine line of having information, being a leader in some sense, but being careful not to completely isolate yourself. Because it's lonely at the top. I said that. It's lonely at the top. That's the danger here. Recognizing that. I think you are in some way. You know, when it's lonely at the top too, like if you are the kind of person that everyone comes to for guidance, information, knowledge, who do you go to, right? Like who do you go to get that? So your future is the sustainer. Let's see where you're going. The sustainer, the peacemaker, the upholder, the preserver. The sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence, works behind the scenes, tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish, two humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to achieve, to preserve earth resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. That is really interesting. That sounds like, to me, like it's almost reflecting the mountain energy of being the one with the responsibility, keeping the mouth sweetly fed, paying the bills, cultivating the gardens, keeping the meals warm. It's like the person with all the responsibility, correct? And when you get into the sustainer, it feels like, you know what, I want to say, I don't know if maybe this is a heads up, because it feels like this is like the warning of going into isolation, and then this is the isolation of it, like distant, because you're working behind the scenes. You're the one doing like overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. That really reminds me of like an emperor kind of energy, because people just come to them with their problems, and when people are not happy with how the kingdom is functioning or working, or their place in it, or they feel, you know, that's what the emperor gets. Nobody comes up to the emperor and says, "You do such an awesome job. I love having you." Like, right? Like, always getting this boom, boom, boom. So, the sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. It also feels like going into the future, something may present itself for you to bring a change about here. But you may also be so used to having to be the one in control and getting it all done that it's difficult to release that. But in some sense, it's the longing for the relationships. But that's the connection, because this energy doesn't really have maybe one that's truly equal, that you can be seen and you can see the other truly equally here. Oh, I couldn't read all the... So, the sustainer, when in light, abundant, generous, supportive, reliable. But when in dark, and I want to bring that up, overworked, resentful, trapped, and tired. Take note of the difference between maintaining and sustaining. Which action describes your life more accurately? Contemplate what truly sustains you. Make a list. Notice how simple yet powerful those things are, and spend some time tending them. Alright, guys. I had like a whole layout that I was following this week, but you know, what you've been healing, what you... It's like, no, just pull out cards. So I'm being told to just pull out cards and just read this very intuitively. Sometimes this deck is so difficult to shuffle. There we go. Okay. I'm going to pull out 4 for each, your current and your future energy. Pulling out 3. Because the opening just showed me a new way to pull out cards. It's like 2 of Pentacles. That's new, huh? Oh, the Mountain. You have the 10 of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles. It's very interesting because this 2 of Pentacles is coming into a position that's is significant for what I just read for the Oakmen. Major ending. In your current, you have this major ending. Painful. It could be an ending of the ego. It's definitely, on some level it is. Now, when I say that though, it's kind of like how you saw things, how you saw yourself, how you saw where things were going, what you anticipated, like some sort of an ending there on some element of your life with that. And it's usually painful, like it's painful psychologically and it can be painful emotionally. And then we have the 2 of Pentacles, and this is interesting because it's a butterfly waiting to have a new, like if you look at this, almost like a death, the way the swords are going through this bowl. So you would expect to have the rebirth. And this is what just came through with this card when I did the Oakman reading, was these 2 of Pentacles. And it's almost like the things in life that hold you back from having this rebirth. Like the butterfly is in some way constrained by responsibility. And there's a lot of responsibility in the Mountain card. So constrained by responsibility, but that's happening for a reason. Because this constraint is full of rainbow color. So I like to say, like, it can lead to your wish fulfillment. So if it feels like you've had some sort of a major ending, or you're having some sort of a major ending, why am I not having a rebirth? Why am I not able to move forward? And this is that kind of that feeling perhaps of isolation, or being left behind, or having to be the one to carry the responsibility and not participate in the active goings on of the kingdom itself. But then this gives you the 7 of Pentacles. So it does tell me that this is a time for, think about the seeds that you've already planted. Which ones do you want to continue to focus on and work on? Which ones would you like to leave behind? It's a little bit like going over the mind of the butterfly and saying, okay, you're not a caterpillar anymore. You're not a caterpillar anymore, but the weather's going to be really bad so that you can't fly away yet. We want you to be pretty sure that you understand what it means to be this butterfly. You're not going to hang out with other caterpillars anymore. You're not going to go on these branches and eat leaves. You're actually going to fly, and you're going to soar, and you're going to have a whole new way of seeing and doing things. So think about how you want to do this moving forward. That's interesting. What I like though about this card, because it talked about remembering that, you know, the most precious things in the journey are inside the mountain. They're not on the outside of the mountain. So it also is like the most precious things in this lifetime for you to also explore are within you, are inside you. And this is a time for that. This is definitely a time for that. because there's been an ending. It's just a little bit like climbing up the mountain and thinking you know where you're going and what your goal is and where it's going to take you and what it's going to be like when you get there. And then you get there and you realize there's nothing up at the top of the mountain. I'm actually so up high up the mountain, I can't even see the kingdom anymore. I just see the tops of the clouds. It's a little bit like realizing now I have to go down the mountain because I saw a door. I went past the point of where I really actually wanted to be or needed to be or was destined to be. It's a little bit of a self-evaluation of where you saw yourself going, but where you really want to be, where it feels really good. The sustainer is the future. It feels very, I just talked about contraction and expansion with the Oakman, but it does feel like very, at least confining, like really holding in your creativity. Maybe you're holding it in to allow it to blossom, fully mature. Like if these are ideas going into the future, hanging on to them a little bit and allowing them to fully, like for you to fully mold them before making them like real, out in the world, out for others to see. And then you have the Sun, the Hierophant, and the Ten of Cups. That energy is really nice in the future here. It's interesting with the Hierophant because, you know, this energy that I get with the mountain reminds me of like Emperor, Hierophant, some sort of responsibility to others. Some sort of leadership quality. It's interesting, this Leo, because I mean, Leo is often noted as the leader of the pride, but the Sun, right? The energy from the Sun here, you find your energy in the future by containing it. And when I say containing it, it doesn't feel like for very long though. Connecting your energy with something higher than you, even with the Hierophant. Connecting and committing to this connection. Connecting and committing to this connection. Like as you move into the future, it does feel like you're coming towards clarity for yourself. I feel like what you're going to feel clear about on connecting with and committing to. Because you could look at this too and say, well, what do I want to connect with? And who or what do I want to commit to? And then we get the Daughter of Cups, which is like the Page of Cups. So I feel like it's really coming into a type of self-fulfillment, self-recognition, and understanding yourself more clearly, and how you want to connect yourself with everything outside of you. And it's kind of like come out at the end there with this very innocent, gentle movement of the heart, movement of feelings moving forward. But you also don't put it all out there, right? Like I'm feeling like this is kind of constrained. You also don't put it all like out there all at once. It does also feel like moving into your future archetypal energy that you really recognize yourself too for who you are, and you hold that back a bit. And I'm getting like hold that back a bit, like protecting it too from anything that could be like an energy vampire or situations that could drain you. Really recognizing what serves you and what does not serve you. I'm just going to pull out, that's an interesting split, the broken heart with the yin and the yang. I'm going to pull out an energy oracle card to go with each one of these positions. Just to pull a little more into the reading, and then... So, the current. A card for the current archetypal energy of Leo. A card for the current archetypal energy of Leo. Oh, it's a lot of cards. But how do I say no when it's the sun on top? It's your card. Goodness, oh, what a mittful. This is like a story. Give me a second. Okay, you got the sun. You got action. You got the magician in the mirror. Yeah. You got the man holding the coin. You got the angel of balance. And you got the goddess of the moon. Oh, that's an awful lot to say. Let me pull this in. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, you are taking action. Right now, whether it feels like it or not, you are physically, emotionally, all levels here, energetically moving yourself towards the sun that sits in the future. And you have the sun here in the present, in the current energy. You are moving yourself towards that. You are progressively making the choice to take action towards your wish fulfillments, clarity on who you are. With doing this, with the magician in the mirror, observing things around you while also observing things within you and understanding the dynamic of that, understanding the duality and the polarity of that entire experience. And then this is interesting because we have the man holding the coin, the angel of balance, and the goddess of the moon. And I feel like this angel of balance is what brings a balance for you between the necessities and the responsibilities of life and the magic and the unknown and the mystical of life. That's what this angel of balance is doing. And that is part of what this is for you going into the sun in the future, is having this balance between responsibility, the earthly realm, like, making sure that the mouths are fed, that the bills are paid, that the laundry is done, all of that, but also having this mystical, magical connection here. Harnessing the unknown, being ready to do that. Okay. What is in the future? The future? The future archetypal energy. Oh, and we get one. Oh, no, there was two. Wow. 6 chakra and patience. There's something coming in for you. Ooh, there's something coming in for you. And I say that, something very inspiring. That could even be connected to. You're going to have, I feel like you're going to have some sort of a bit of an awakening on another level. Be patient. You're going to also understand why it's important to be patient, perhaps in this situation, whatever that could be for you, or a situation moving forward. There will be some patience required here, but you're going to be getting some enlightenment. You will be enlightened about something. This is the bottom. So look at the bottom. The 3rd chakra. Okay, whatever is going to be happening is going to be strengthening your confidence. It's really going to be strengthening your confidence and your balance between the mystical, the creative, and the, the things that you just have to get done in this world. What I was going to say with the mountain is with the confidence. Sometimes when you are so detached, because there is some sort of a leadership quality sitting in here, that you may not even necessarily always feel confident to go down here among the trees, among those that that you are speaking with or guiding. Do they accept me? Do they still accept me? I'm hearing. This is going to change for you moving forward. There's definitely something that's going to be coming in, like in your third eye. And I feel like some sort of inspiration moving forward. Oh yeah, because this is almost like a piece of clay that's ready to be made into something. You're going to get some insight. So too, if you've been working towards something and you've been trying to put a creative spin on it or develop it more creatively, I do feel like that's coming for you in the future here. So I'm going to go do the extended now, and I'm going to look at the energy that sits in the in-between, getting you here from the current into your future. So there you go, Leo. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.